Hey y'all, for today's lesson, we're going to get into the Dorian vibe of Miles Davis on guitar. When you're talking about the Dorian mode, I'm not trying to say that Miles Davis invented it, although it can certainly seem that way when you get into jazz studies because of the way that they introduce modalism, and they talk often about the groundbreaking Miles Davis album, Kind of Blue. On Kind of Blue, they explored many different modes, but instead of playing on a series of chord changes on each song, they would play sections based on different modes, which freed the jazz player up in a different way. When we get into, of course, Dorian and Miles Davis, there's one song that's going to stick out among them all, and that's going to be So What? The form of Miles Davis's So What is based on an AABA structure, which is a common form in jazz. In the case of So What, the A sections, though, are based on a D Dorian, and then for the B section, they go up a half step and play an E flat Dorian. Each section is 8 bars long, so the whole form of the tune is 32 bars per chorus, which is also extremely common in jazz. I'm not going to have a look at the whole Miles Davis solo today. I'm just going to focus on 8 bars. But the reason is I want to introduce to you what I call the concept of rule of 3 phrasing. Rule of 3 phrasing refers to playing 2 short phrases and then a third phrase that's kind of longer, and that sets you up for another phrase or a new beginning for the next 8 bars. The scale pattern I'm going to be using for the solo today is going to be 10th fret, D Dorian. It sounds something like this. When we look at Miles' solo specifically, he starts with a short phrase, which is literally outlining the root in the 5th of the chord. He follows it up with a triad phrase. Then he plays this long phrase that ties these two together. Another important aspect about Miles's playing on top of So What is his use of what they call higher harmonies. That means that if I'm looking at an arpeggio from D, I'm playing my minor 7 arpeggio, but I'm expanding into the 9th and 11th. D minor chord, that means I'm playing D, F, A, C, which is my 7th chord, and then E and G, which are my 9th and 11th. That's key to his sound because of the fact that he starts lower in the harmony around triad shapes in the lower root, but he builds his way into playing around the 9th and 11th, which gives it that really distinct modal sound.